A horrific day for the people of El Paso, our state of Texas, and the country. That's 2 mass shootings in less than 24 hours, an unspeakable amount of grief for the country this weekend. That officer interfered with the investigation and did not follow operation plans, landing him that indictment. He was on the run for about 10 hours and is wanted for the murders of Jenna Scott and Michael Swearingen. As you can see, police are giving an update. Let's take a listen.
We're bringing you tonight's newscast live from Baylor's campus, cheering on the Lady Bears during their quest for a championship.
We kick things off with the severe weather we're seeing across our viewing area right now. But what he didn't know is that the entire crime was caught on camera. DPS has a helicopter searching from the sky, while down here police have roped off 2 blocks for their search. Jasmine Caldwell was on the ground shortly after the tornado hit. She's live in the middle of that damage with the very latest. Jasmine. And we don't have many details. We don't know if the driver is hurt or if they're doing okay. We're getting our first images at the scene. You can see some of that damage, just a terrifying image. Well, it's time now for our first check of our weather. Meteorologist Zach Scott is standing by, and guys, Zach has got his plaid suit on today, so it must be a special occasion.
It is.
They're asking people near Conroe between 105 and North Loop 336 to stay indoors. There's a look at that video as police search the area. Now, Jennifer Goucher says, "This hurts my heart so badly." Happening around our state, a gunman shot 4 people before taking his own life at a housewarming party in Katy.
Hey guys, yeah, as you can see, my shirt says "Everyone Counts," the official event t-shirt, and that's certainly true tonight. I've got my gloves on and I've got my scooper, and we are ready to feed families in need. But it's not just us. If you take a look around
He's always maintained his innocence, and now the highest court in the state says George will have another chance to prove it.
No. Ma'am, you were outside of the apartment. The dude was covered. The dude was on top of you.
During this conversation, Shantae Hemingway says she realized being beaten and raped wasn't a dream.
I thought I was going to die. I thought I'm 22 years old and I'm going to die right here, right now. And before I die, he's going to rape me.
Shantae says she met a young soldier at Club TABU who was nice and charming. The first time they hung out, everything was fine, but the second and final time was anything but. It was here, Shantae says, the man parked his car and forced her to the back seat. After that, she says, things got violent.
He just started pulling my pants down. I said, "Stop, what are you doing? Stop, get off of me." And he would not stop at all.
Shantae, a virgin at the time, fought the man off and escaped from his car. But she didn't get far, saying he beat her, then raped her outside near the car, allegedly leaving behind these blood stains on the ground and leaving her face unrecognizable.
Because I really wanted to wait until I got married, and now all that is ruined. He took that away from me, and you can never get that back.
A neighbor heard the commotion and started filming this video, which the family gave us permission to show. He claims when he saw the man sexually assaulting Shantae on the parking lot floor, he put down his phone, picked up a bat, and chased the man off.
I wish I'd done something sooner, but the fact that she's still here, that's nice, that's good. So I'm happy that she's all right.
Here's more of the conversation between Henry and Shantae as he helped her inside and called police.
I think he was he was sexually assaulting you, when I came outside.
What's the day is?
Huh?
What's the day? Yeah, my face hurts so bad.
In just the past few months, Shantae has attempted to take her own life, no longer goes anywhere alone, and can't sleep through the night. Shantae's mother, a North Carolina resident, now staying in Killeen until the case gets solved.
I believe that he's done this before to several other women, and if he's not stopped, it will not be his last.
Shantae says she's thankful for her quick-acting neighbor and lucky to be alive. Hopeful her story encourages women to think twice before spending time alone with a stranger.
Someone can come up very charming, and next day they can be an animal. So be careful who you trust.
His conviction has been vacated and he's been granted a new trial after serving more than 10 years behind bars for a crime he says he didn't commit. And tonight, in an exclusive interview, George Powell is speaking out about it all. George Powell taking in a moment he wasn't sure he'd ever see. Another shot at his freedom.
Because they incarcerated me illegally to try to keep me quiet. And as I fought for my life, they were heartless. They meaning Bell County District Attorney Henry Garza.
More than a decade behind bars for something he says he didn't do. George focuses on music to stay sane.
My whole life, I've been living for this moment. Everything I've been through, the reason I was chosen.
George was convicted of robbing a Killeen 7-Eleven in 2009 and sentenced to 28 years. False testimony from a jailhouse informant who thought he would get a deal from the state if he testified helped put George away. This week, the Texas Court of Criminal Appeals said there was misconduct on the state's part in regards to that testimony, which prevented George from having a fair trial. So they vacated his conviction and granted him a new trial. George heard the news on a prison radio. The normally outspoken man can't find the words to describe this moment.
What are you feeling right now?
I'm just ready. These ain't tears of sorrow. They're tears of, I'm holding.
It's hard for him to convey his range of emotions. He's disappointed the Court of Appeals didn't recognize his actual innocence claims, which he says leaves him with no compensation from the state for what he calls a wrongful conviction.
They have just taken 11 years from my life, and now they're setting me free, and I don't have nothing to fall on. I'm penniless. Plus, they took my youth from me.
But he's grateful for this second shot to clear his name and once again become a free man. He held back tears as he thought about being able to just see and feel a day start and end and start again.
Okay, these pictures are my sunrises and my sunsets. A lot of time in here, we don't get to see the sunrise and we don't get to see the sunset because there's no windows. So this is what I look at when I want to see it rise and I want to see it set. Visualizing the day that I get out and I get to embrace an actual sunrise and an actual sunset, that first 24 hours.
Major height discrepancy is leading George's innocence claim. All of this news coming as a documentary focused on George and his case premiered on Netflix today to 150 million subscribers. It focuses on junk science and how that can lead to wrongful convictions. In George's case, an eyewitness put the robber at 5'6". George, however, is 6'3". He wouldn't go into detail, but says his legal team at the Innocence Project is strategizing for this new trial to make sure George never ends up back in here again.
There's only one thing that needs to happen to prove that's not me in that video. There's only one thing that needs to happen. And when that happens, there's going to be no way to refute it.
George says he believes he will be free again. And when that happens, plans to start a movement focused on music, positivity, supporting the wrongfully convicted, and helping reform the criminal justice system. And after that, he plans to head to the recording studio to lay down the thousands of songs he's written from behind bars, sharing them with the people in the streets once again, from sunrise till sunset. Since Powell is no longer convicted of anything, his lawyer says he should be moved back to the Bell County Jail within the next week or so. They will then work on getting bail set. For much more from George's interview and details on this development, head to KCENTV.com.